Kenya over the weekends is what we call chamas, essentially savings and investment group, which I think are also social group. No, I don't think they actually are social groups. Now, one of the areas of practice that we have engaged in is how do we set up these entities? I'd like to answer it in two parts. First of all, it is important for savings and investment groups to appreciate that it is a process, it is a growth process. We, in our experience, have seen savings and investment groups which come together at the beginning of the year, 6 months down the line, are unable to proceed, all right? We have others which have been around for many, many years, 20, 30 years. So when you're thinking of registration, ask yourself, what is the long game? But secondly, after asking yourself, what is the long game, also ask the question, how do we get to the long game? Where the savings are initially perhaps sums that are smaller, we would suggest that perhaps the members would consider registering a business name, which then would enable them to save, or perhaps entering into kind of like a collective agreement, a collective association of an unregistered group of people who have agreed to save together, and where they have clearly put rules that cover matters such as what contributions come in, how do we hold assets, for example, bank accounts, how do we operate them, how do we resolve disputes amongst ourselves. Now, with time, as the amounts increase, it becomes necessary to consider the next level, which would be either a company limited by shares or a limited liability partnership, in which case then the members would be converted from an unregistered group into one that is registered either as a company or as a partnership. Now, it's important to ensure that these entities have got internal rules, because these are meeting a specific need, and therefore there is a bit more than just the general memorandum and articles. There is need to cover a bit more. So even as you set up those, it's important to ask yourself, what is the document that will guide us even in our engagements as members together? So yes, it's possible to register a chama. The question as to how it is to be done is a matter to recognize that it grows over time, and that at each point it's important for the groups to determine in which way they would want to be registered.